It's just that because I thought I was such a good player, but then again I got refused by so many people, and then all of a sudden I got a trial from Crystal Palace. Sorry, no way. I can't waste my time. I can't afford to lose this job, because I carried on playing Sunday morning football from the age of 12 all the way up to the 22. A guy who I was working with, Gary Twidell, said, you know what I'll do? I'll try and keep the job for you. I went to the trial, and I think my attitude was, well, okay, I've got 2 weeks to play football, and then hopefully I'll get this job back. Everything will be fine. By the time the 2-week trial finished, Steve Coppell pulled me and he said, you know what, we want to pay you some expenses and we want you to stay. He said, well, we'll give you £100 expenses a week for a couple of weeks, just see how it goes. And I said, that doesn't really make sense for me, because you're going to pay me, that means I'll be off for a month. I said, after a month, you might say, well, I'm sorry. I said, I can't afford that. He said, okay, we'll do it for 3 months. And then I said, yeah, I'll take that. But then 6 weeks into that, they signed me. We got to the final for Crystal Palace in 1990, and I get to come on 72 minutes, 73 minutes. Within like 2 minutes, I scored a goal. My face was just like, I can't even describe it. And then it gets to extra time and I score again. We started training at 10, went back to the ground for 12:30, and I asked this lady in the office, I said, yeah, I'm a trialist and I just need some expenses to get back to London. And like, she's obviously somebody who hasn't got any kind of power or any kind of clout. So I don't even know if she even went in and told anybody, but she said, yeah, okay, could you just wait there? So we're talking 12:30. I was still outside the office at 5:15, waiting. And I kept saying, is anything happening? He said, yep, so we're just waiting. Obviously they're just sitting there just taking the piss out of me, really. And I remember Steve Foster, he was a captain of Brighton at the time. Steve Foster said, what are you doing here? And I said, I'm waiting for expenses to get back to London. And his face contorted. He said, what, when from? From this morning? And I said, yeah. And I swear to God, he went into this room, man, and obviously being the captain of the club, everybody stood to attention, and he just blasted these people about treating people badly and how can you do this and this and that. It was, I didn't know what to do myself. I remember he came out with this woman, and the woman gave me something like, I don't know, it was like £200 or something. And I remember saying thank you to Steve. And then I remember I got a bus to the train station. I remember when I sat on the bus, I just burst into tears. I couldn't.
Did you ever share the dressing room with anyone you didn't like?
Jim Cannon, Scottish player, centre half. He made my first couple of years in professional football a fucking nightmare, man. He was a bully in there. When you go for the communal food, and listen, man, I'm literally 3 months off the building site, man. I don't know what's going on, sitting and eating with everybody. I hardly even knew what to order properly. So I remember when I was ordered, he would take the fucking piss out of everything that I'd do. You can't afford that. Do you have that at home? How'd you say that? Do you know how to say this? Like dauphinois and stuff at the time. And so this is the main senior guy in the dressing room. I was kind of scared. I was scared of him. Mm-hmm. I was scared of him because one time in training, I remember we used to have those small-sided games. So there's a couple of times where I'd done a move on him and then put it through the legs and it went in the goal. And I'd done it twice. I remember the second time, I remember the lads were going, yeah, hey. And as I turned around, fucking 2 foot jumped me in the back. He was as bad as it gets. All of a sudden I realised my mum's an alcoholic, very abusive towards me. I can't remember being hugged much by my mum. When I used to go to the football trials and trying to get into the clubs, I remember when I used to go to trials, my mum used to say, another thing I didn't understand till I got older, many are called and few are chosen, you're wasting your time. I really couldn't wait to get out of the house. As I got older, I got more angry towards my mum, and obviously my daddy died the other day and I went to the funeral and it was weird. It was like going to a stranger's funeral. People were saying things like I should be talking. Because, I don't know, I'm in the public eye and people know me, they think I should be up there speaking and eulogizing about him. I don't fucking know him. I do not know the guy. When you think of why people are like that, and I suppose it might have gone down to why maybe I adopted Sean at such a young age. Sean was like 2 and 8 months, just getting ready to turn to 3. And I could not understand, even with having nothing, how somebody could come in and treat a child like my stepdad treated me. When I first got to Arsenal, you know, people, they went on the streets with the Vox Pop saying, what are we buying him for? And for me to get to go to Arsenal with David Rocastle and play with him, it was a dream. And then our first league game, David scores the first one and I score a hat-trick. All the time I always thought that he was going to be okay. And he was still always positive about what's going to happen. I mean, when I found out, I literally could not stop crying. I couldn't stop crying. I remember when George Graham got rid of him and he went to Leeds, I couldn't stop crying then as well. And he was saying, what's wrong with you, man? And you know, when he died, I can't deal with it.
I remember him saying that he was more proud of the fact that I played for England than him flying over fucking Paris.
Oh, Ian.
I love that man. I know he loved me. You know, I don't know why he chose me. I'm glad that he did. He was the one who taught me about Jimmy Greaves and making sure when you finish, Ian, when you're going through with the goalkeeper, look for the space, score beautiful goals. But he gave me responsibility. I mean, I used to collect the registers from the teachers. Then they made me milk monitor. I really liked that, and you know, I looked.
What was that like for the kid who couldn't sit still?
Well, it was really good. I just felt important. He wouldn't let me play football if he'd heard that I've been naughty in class. He just gave me a sense of feeling like I had some use.